Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to today's conversation on Gifted Healing TV. I'm Sarah Jane, and I have my co-hosts with me, Patricia.
Hello there, everybody. Lovely to see you.
And David.
Hi there, and it's good to see you again.
And David, as Ali is your guest, shall I hand over to you? You can do a little introduction, but hello, Ali.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
Well, it's really a pleasure to have you here, Ali. And I've known Ali for, we were just discussing it, maybe 4 or 5 years or a little bit longer. And I can't exactly remember where we met, but we've stayed in contact for all this time now. And I know the depth in which Ali holds her passion on shamanic healing. But would you like to introduce yourself and give a little introduction and little insight to what your shamanic healing is about and what you do?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. And so my name's Ali Taylor of Rainbow Warrior Wellbeing, and I'm based in Fife. And so what's brought me to this point really is my own healing journey. And that's taken me from Reiki through to other forms of energy healing, to shamanism and sound healing. And when I work with people now, I'm able to offer, the whole shebang. And it's wonderful to have all these different tools that I can dip into. And that came about, my own healing journey came about from realizing the energetic nature of everything, of healing trauma, and being able to transmute and release things that happened to myself. And, a big catalyst of that was receiving healings from other people, receiving Reiki, receiving shamanic healing. And then coming to a realization that actually this is my path. I'm actually meant to be doing this, and perhaps somehow everything that I had experienced brought me to this point where I was then able to use that experience to help other people to heal themselves. And so really, I really feel that that's my soul's purpose now, is to help other people based on my own experience. And yeah, that's kind of what's brought me to this point. And of all the healing, they're all different, but I would say that receiving a shamanic healing for the first time from the person who went on to become my shamanic teacher has had the most profound effect on me. So that's one reason why I'm passionate about all of it, but this in particular, yeah.
So, Ali, what's been the biggest feeling from the shamanic healing for yourself? When did it kind of click in and say, wow, this is it? What was there something you felt, or you just knew inside that this is the way I've got to follow the path?
I think it's probably a combination of all of that. The realization that everything is energy, everything is vibration, and that we can transform and transmute that. We don't have to be stuck. We can, for me, the realization that thoughts and feelings, emotions, was all just energy that needed to move, and finding, like, being able to build a toolkit. The toolkit, for example, here I have my feather and my stone. So being exposed to featherstone healing as a means of moving energy and bringing in feelings of unconditional love as a healing tool, and building a toolkit around kind of bringing in power animals, for example, bringing in the medicine wheel, bringing in shamanic drum healing, meditation. All of these things has helped me to build a toolkit for healing myself. and now for healing, helping to heal other people, or bringing about that healing response in other people. I'm not the healer. I'm just a conduit. But it's about, you know, using all these tools to bring about that healing in other people. Yeah.
So you think it was, sorry, Sarah, go on.
David, because obviously I know you've had experience of shamanic healing, and I know that you have as well, Patricia. So share a little of your experience as well, because obviously we can make a much more rounded, you know, no disrespect to Ali, but it's we're here to share.
Well, I had my healing with Ali, and it's wonderful. Everybody knows me. I need to be out in nature. I need to be out in the trees. You know, try and stop me from being there. And the healing I had, we went up to the forest, close by, up to Falkland Estate. It's beautiful wild forest, and it was really interesting. We found a place where I just laid down, and a lot of the time I drifted away into another place. I may have been snoring when I visit other places, but that I just went off. But there was this tremendous, especially with the sound, that got me with the when you were playing the drum as well. That really went deep in with me, and I kind of, although I love being in the trees, that all kind of disappeared for me. And when I come round, the most extraordinary thing had happened. We saw this. I don't know whether you remember, but we was encircled with white feathers all around where we were, and they weren't there before. So it was really, I suppose, in a way, it put me really back. You think you're back in touch with nature and Mother Earth, but when you have this shamanic healing, you really feel at one with Mother Earth. It's really a very different experience. And the feathers, they were just all around, weren't they? It was a perfect circle of feathers around us both.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it was beautiful.
So that was my experience.
Patricia.
Yeah, for me, shamanism, if you like, is my way of life. And it's not something I probably speak about very much because, of course, I'm possibly better known for being involved in the angelic realms and that kind of thing. But, you know, I just believe it so much underlines the premise that we are all one. And it doesn't matter whether I'm sitting at this lovely wooden desk here because it's got its vibration, low though it is, or I'm looking out at these magnificent trees and I'm hearing the birds, but I know that they're all one. I know they're listening to my vibration. I'm feeling their vibration. And people are saying to me how remarkable my healing is because it's not even 3 weeks since I had major surgery. And I'm feeling, I have to say, touch wood, terrific. But it's because I'm really being held in, I use the word magic and the miracle of the earth, of her sort of really balmy weather. Everything is in the right place. And I mean, I just love animals. I've loved horses, dogs, even cats. Now I've managed to get my head around being a cat person late in my years, if I am, you know, and I just love it. And Ali, I love that you have taken all of this. You've really taken the recipe, the ingredients of our world, if you like, and you are applying that to and incorporating it with everything you've learned, all your Reiki, all the different, you had to learn about the energy, you had to discover all kinds of things all the time, building, constructing, and bringing it back to my mind, to my heart, the essence of what it's all about. And it is about being one and just submersing yourself in that at a cellular level. and realizing that, well, we can heal everything and anything. I mean, I had to have major surgery because alignment had to be restored at a physical level, which would have been too much to do in all the other ways we can do it. So they went in and they sorted it, my goodness. But for me, it is about alignment and pulling back myself. I bent myself well out of shape for other people all my life, and now I'm being given a second bite at the cherry, and it feels just amazing. I know I've released a lot as well through it. So shamanism to me just embraces everything I love about life. And when you can bring that to whoever comes to you, you know, at the very least what you're doing, you're there to love them and to help them love themselves, yeah. And just being a facilitator, saying just, but you're facilitating that and the channels that are going to work, because the shamans from the other dimensions, of course, will come in and work with you as well. But I believe angels are shamans, dragons are shamans, everybody on this planet is a shaman. They have that ability, yeah?
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know I've had the experience of a shamanic session, but truthfully, I'm not sure how much I remember of that. But I was really blessed to actually go over to the States and spend time, a little bit of time with the Nez Perce in Idaho, and and their respect for the earth. You know, I love the term, they refer to great mystery, and it's just it's all of it, and they're absolutely respect the standing people, which I believe are the trees and the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds and
And the fur.
it's all about that. It is about the connection. It is about honoring to the extent that if you take, you use it to the fullest, but you always give back, but you are always in gratitude. So it isn't wrong to eat meat, to do those things, providing you are respectful of the gift that you are given, and that you don't waste anything.
And there's always an exchange as well.
Being it back on.
Yeah, I think it does for me, and like you, Patricia, and you'll have experience because you're so attuned to your art, Ali, aren't you? You live it as well.
I do,
But
yeah.
it's really bringing everything together, like you both said. It's realigning everything
Yes.
because we are connected to nature, and because we've disappeared from it and taken ourselves away, we need these, let's say, moments of facilitation to bring everything back together. Because I know we had the crystals, we had the sound, we had the incense, and I think the sage as well. I can't remember, I was away for most of it. But it's bringing your, not just your physical, but it's bringing all your emotional and spiritual bodies back under where we need to be. Is that kind of the aim
I think,
for
yeah,
it for you?
yeah. I think there's two important things there. The realization that everything is connected, and the other realization that everything has a spiritual nature. And we could say that the part of the reason that we're in our current predicament and that we're experiencing chaos at the moment is that for one reason or another we have severed our connection, or it has been severed, our connection to spirit and our connection to nature. And I can see in my work, you know, bringing people together. There is a big call now for people to come together. You know, like a gathering of the tribes, as it were. It's much needed, and the more into chaos that we go, the more people are seeking, you know, what feeds their soul. You know, we're moving away from the kind of the Piscean kind of materialism towards, you know, as we go deeper into the Aquarian age, we're seeking connection, we're seeking community, and seeking that nature. And I witnessed this last week. Actually, I ran a summer solstice gathering around the fire in Falkland, in the forest. And there were people there who'd never experienced anything like this before. And that simple act of gathering around the fire was just so profound for many people. That was their first experience. And I don't, from chatting to them, I don't think it'll be their last. There is a definite call and a need for that reconnection to nature. So that was beautiful to witness and to hold the space for that.
That would be beautiful. You know, I was in Arizona, well, I don't know how many years ago now, but we went out to what they call the mesas, where the Navajo and the Hopi lived. Hopi lived there. Navajo is still living there. And on the walls are the drawings. So we're at the end of a 26,000 year cycle.
That's right.
Yeah. And now the drawings, one drawing is showing one section of people carrying on, nice smooth journey and sort of elevating slowly and steadily. And the other ones basically come to a stop down here somewhere. And they believed, or they knew, that the ones who were following the greedy path, as it were, which we're noticing, observing, that stopped. It didn't prevail because the light will always win through. And that's where we've been talking about these two dimensions, two heavens, or heaven appearing on earth, all that. That is where it is. It has happened, and it is happening. And of course, the light is going out exponentially and capturing people's imaginations, their hearts, and they're really feeling it now. And when you're bringing them together tribally, that is beautiful work, Ali. And you know, fair play to you for getting around that and doing that, because it really is. You know, it's helping them touch base again, reconnecting with nature, with the universe. Because, you know, the universe listens to every word. You just need to be in this house to hear my husband and I occasionally having a few words about things. And suddenly, you know, you find that something's clattering on the floor because there's been something said that should not have been said. I feel they're listening to every word. It's like, you know, they do. And yeah, I mean, life is fascinating. I mean, it really is. It is magic. It's miracles happening, isn't it? And you're harnessing the power of that. So that is beautiful, beautiful work.
It's so important to have that reconnect for everybody, for all of us. And yeah, I've seen this sort of sayings, this video sort of about it. It was so important for us to connect with the tribal peoples, the indigenous peoples of all the countries, and the shamanic healers, the shamans. But there are many different people from different areas, different things, but it's all about that connection to earth.
Yeah.
Isn't it? A few years ago, one of my nieces, she got married and she had a shamanic wedding ceremony.
Wow.
And it was amazing. She connected with a lady I actually know. with Willow, and she's actually been on my program right at the beginning, and sort of, and Willow did the ceremony for her, and there was, I don't know whether you've ever witnessed one of the wedding ceremonies, but at one stage there's this stick on the ground, and they're asked to close their eyes because Willow on one end, and it was actually me on the other end, we've raised the stick, and it's for them to trust to jump over this stick. It's at the height, with your eyes closed, you are not going to jump over. But as Willow had said to me before, once they've got their eyes closed, once I've said jump, we've dropped the stick. So they aren't actually bumping into it. But it was beautiful. Sort of hands tied, the real connection. And that where we were, I was able to be in bare feet. It is that connection back to the planet, to Earth, and it was really beautiful. So there are other ceremonies. Share another ceremony that sort of that you facilitate.
That's interesting. I feel like I wanted to say there about the Indigenous peoples. What a beautiful gift that we've received from them. And actually, shamanism is the oldest form of healing on the earth, and it's a form of healing that's shared amongst all the Indigenous on the earth. And it's interesting, isn't it, that these ancient practices have survived for thousands and thousands of years, and the relevance of these practices and as I touched on earlier, becoming more and more relevant in the present time. And so, in terms of, you were asking about ceremonies, and so some of the things I've experienced, and in fact, one of the earliest ceremonies I took part in, which was again a massive catalyst to catapult me to where I am, is working with plant medicines, and so I know we can't go too much into it because for some of these medicines are not widely available as they should be, but yes, certainly working with the beautiful gifts from the plant medicines really accelerated my own healing journey and accelerated broadened my kind of understanding of, we have reality and non-ordinary reality to actually step into and experience different realms. And we don't actually, we don't fully need the plant medicines to experience these other realms, because we can do it through the drum, and working with the drum, facilitating drum healing meditations, drum journeys is for me is one of my favorite things to do. And we can take people on a journey. We can access. You can think of this as accessing other realms, or accessing different parts of the consciousness, or the unconscious mind. And to be able to access that is where a lot of healing can take place. If we can dive into the unconscious mind, the place where we've shut down, or we've stuffed down, or it's been too painful to access some things, and where we don't access these things, where we keep stuffing them down, is manifesting in illnesses of illnesses of the psyche, physical illness, energetic illness. It's that stuffing down and keeping the lid on things that's stopping the healing. And so using the drum is a wonderful, wonderful tool. On many levels, the vibration of the drum is changing the brainwaves. It's changing us from the busy, the alpha kind of busy brainwaves to the more theta state, where we can relax, where we're in that state between being awake and being asleep, which is where a lot of the healing can take place. We can access these things that are trapped. And a lot of illness is just, it's stuck. It's the stuck energy. And it's the unprocessed energy, thoughts, memories, feelings of difficult things that have happened. And whilst it's stuck, it just circulates and manifests. And if we can get in there and help it we bring it to the surface. I've actually felt, same with the singing bowls as well, I felt things raising to the surface of my skin and acknowledging certain things and going, right, okay, I need to feel that in order to heal it. I need to feel it. And that can be difficult. So we need support. It has to be done in a supported way. But to feel it and acknowledge it and process it, then we can release it. So we're no longer holding on to that difficult stuff. And so, yeah, working with the drum. And also, in our ceremony last week, we gathered with our drums and we played our drums around the fire. And to gather in community and play the drums together is phenomenal, and it's transformative. And very passionate about the drum.
It's amazing. I've got a drum. I haven't used it as much as I would like. I know we used it a little while ago in one of our programs at the end, but I don't go out and play it enough. But I find playing it out in nature is where I get the benefit from, not just from the house. So, and you say about the ceremonies, and I think a lot of people will think, or shamanic healing, it's like a one-to-one. But this shamanic healing can take, as you say, can take part in groups at a time. It's not just a one-to-one thing. This is a massive, powerful group work as well, and lots of ceremonies, as you say, that goes with it. So it encompasses so much to support us, doesn't it?
I think in that group kind of setting, especially where there's sound involved, I truly believe that people receive the healing that they need, because I always open space, I open the directions, I call in spirit guides, and I truly believe that people, even in a group setting, will on some level receive the healing that they most need in that moment.
Yeah. It's a very, I suppose, in-depth subject, isn't it?
For sure.
I think it is, but it encompasses everything, David. It really does. Every aspect of healing and the crystals and the sound, everything's there, all in that subject. It's it's the answer to the whole thing for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think there is a big thing as well about restoring people's power. This is shamanism is a great healing tool, and as we heal, then we can regain our power. Because we have become largely disempowered for one reason or another. It's been taken away from us, or we've given it away. And so in the healing process, we're also restoring people's power. We're empowering people again to actually realize that they don't have to be stuck in their story. They don't have to be stuck in victim. Speaking as a former victim, we can get ourselves, we can pull ourselves out of that victim mentality. We don't have to stay. It's just a story. We don't actually have to stay in our story. We can release things. We can release the conditioning. We can move on from that and grow. And very much it's about encouraging people to become the best version of themselves that they can be, and leave behind all that baggage and leave the story behind.
And help them to remember how powerful we all are. We're incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
When we step into our potential, just awesome because, I mean, a lot of the work I do is helping people to consciously retrieve parts of their soul that they have, as you say, given away. And that is beautiful work because it just means, again, they're reconstructing who they are and stepping in with confidence and, you know, bringing forward, as you rightly say, the best of who they are, you know. So it's beautiful work.
Yeah, and I think,
sorry.
yeah, no, I was going to say it makes you realize, or it helps make people realize they're more than that person in the mirror that they see first thing in the morning. We just see this of ourselves every morning, but this is helping to see more out here and more in here, isn't it? To realize we're not just David, for example, in the mirror. There's so much more to us, and this is where this healing process can really help us get back once again align with Mother Nature and realign with ourselves, because we've come away from that, haven't we?
And that's a big realization. What it was for myself and for other people to actually realize that we're spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And you touched there, Patricia, on soul retrieval, which is also part of the work that we do. And quite often that's indicated by trauma with the soul as a protective mechanism. The soul fragments, they splinter, don't they? And they take the heart away so that we don't actually are overwhelmed by it. And you know, possibly, you know, there's different ways of doing that work, but you know, we journey again with the drum and with power animals to retrieve the soul fragments. And we talk about the hole in the soul, don't we? You know, that there's quite often we fill up that hole in the soul with addictions. You know, people, you know, become addicted to alcohol, to cigarettes, to various things, and because there's that hole, or we fill it up with material things. And so to actually do that work and help people to find the splintered soul parts and bring them back together and restore that person to a feeling of wholeness is a beautiful part of the work that we do as well.
It's beautiful. No, it's great stuff, I have to say. And I've done all that. I didn't do alcohol. I did cigarettes. I could shop till I dropped.
Yeah.
I had wardrobes to beat the band. Full of clothes that I didn't wear. I mean, when you look at it, you think, for heaven's sake, it's amazing. But if you plug the holes, you'll be pleased to know we've got that sorted.
And I think if we've been through that journey ourselves, then, you know, it gives us a certain authenticity, you know, but for the grace of God, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I think it's, as you say, it's a healing comes in so many forms, doesn't it? And you've had all the experience of Reiki and everything along the way. Do you think that as you've gathered all these tools, this has really fallen into place? I know you said a bit about that at the beginning, but would you have fallen into place and then gathered the other tools? Do you think it would have worked that way? Am I explaining it clearly enough?
Maybe could you say that again? I didn't quite grasp what.
Yeah, you know, you on your journey, you started with Reiki and all the other different modalities. Do you think that was leading up to you, or do you think there would have been a point you go, I've got to get into shamanic healing, and then gone and searched the other pieces, you know, to
No,
put in like the Reiki afterwards?
yeah,
You
I
think
think,
that's really happened for a reason?
oh, absolutely. And I think it was a journey that started with Reiki, and prior to that, you know, I was lost. I was absolutely lost and in suffering. And being attuned to Reiki was the catalyst. it was a catalyst for so many things. And it opened me up to the notion of a spiritual life. It started my healing process, and it just seems to have evolved. I feel like it's evolved naturally from Reiki, energy healing, and exploring all the different types of energy healing, and realizing how we can transform things just by thinking of things as energy, and thinking of healing in terms of healing the soul, healing the spirit, because we're used to thinking, okay, something's gone wrong with the body, you go to the doctor, you get tablets, and to realize that actually there's more to it than that a lot of illness actually manifests in the soul first. And to tackle, working on the energy field, working on our energy system, the chakras, the meridians, to get things more in a flow state. A lot of illness comes from stagnation of the energy. We talk about this in Reiki, don't we, David? Talk about chi stagnation. Where that chi gathers in the joints, brings pain. That stagnation of the energy manifests in so many different ways. So it's just helpful to think of everything as energy and everything as vibration, and that's where the sound comes in. The vibration to bring us, our organs and our body responds to the vibration and brings us back into from that chaos into stillness. From that, we talk about dissonance, being in a state of dissonance, to bringing us into a state of resonance, where we're back in equilibrium and we're back to factory settings, kind of thing, before all of these difficult things happened. So yeah,
I like that. Resetting to our factory settings. I love that.
It's fun, a fun way to think of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're hitting the reset, the reset button.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been. I'm so grateful for this journey, even the hard bits. Yeah.
And that's just it. It's about all of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about the whole thing, every aspect. But it is also down to that, are we eating fresh? Are we letting the mother feed us, as in Mother Earth? Or are we letting the factories feed us?
Mm-hmm.
Because so much of the processed stuff, sort of the ready-made meals, they've said is just as useful as eating cardboard. And so are we really allowing our whole self, not just the external and the mind, but the actual physical body to connect with and accept the pure gifts of the mother that cleanse us from the inside out, as well as support us from the outside in. And that's all part and parcel of the journey, isn't it? Of the nature and literally having spent that time with the Nez Perce, and when we went, one of the areas we went past was a camas field, and sort of what they did. But it's always a matter of, I suppose it's like the farmers that learnt, you take the strongest seeds and bulbs and for planting the next crop. You don't take the strongest ones for you to eat. They're not powerful ones. And isn't that what it should be about in life? About everything in life. Sort of have that strength. Think about nature and think about wildlife. Think about wolves, and I love wolves. And they know how to take the weakest out of a herd, which keeps a herd strong. And then man comes along, decides to kill all the wolves, will take care of the herds, but they don't take out the weakest. And the herds, they get decimated because they're not managed by nature. and we can bring that back into our own lives. Let our lives be managed by the fresh air, the sunshine, the beautiful energies of woodlands, of water.
Mm-hmm.
And when we step into those, we fully allow ourselves to step back into nature and to who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the shamanic way of life. And we can do that in a modern world. We just have to change a few things.
Yeah, I like that you've touched on food there, Sarah, because food is so important. What we put into our bodies is so important, and it's a massive act of self-care to actually feed your body with good quality, nutritious food. Buy the best food that you can afford. But then it also made me, what you said there, made me think of the elements, which is a big part of our work as well, to actually think of healing in terms of using the elements. The element of fire, for example, it has the capacity to burn up, transform, and transmute the things that are no longer serving us. The energy of water. We can bring in the energies of water to cleanse us, to purify us, and help us to go into a flow state. I think it was Bruce Lee, I think, said, about flowing. We flow like water, didn't he? Yeah. The earth element, to have our feet on the earth, to ground and connect into the earth, and also in relaxation, to allow ourselves just to be held in the loving arms of Mother Earth, just to let go, to surrender and let go, and just know that somehow we'll be held. And to learn from the element of air as well, to have that sense of upliftment and buoyancy, and to blow the healing energies across the world. Yeah. So working with the elements, I'm particularly drawn to working with the elements. I use that a lot in the work that I do. So, and of course, ether is just everything.
Yeah.
That just binds all of it together, doesn't it? The energy can be sent. Energy healing can be sent through the ether, which is also another way that we know that we're all connected, isn't it? Is through the ether, and through in the earth, and mycelium in the earth is connecting everything together as well, isn't it?
But Patricia, you touched on something that's come up in my head. What was it now? It's gone out of my head. Oh yeah, about everybody's a shaman. Everybody, we have that facility. I think it was you said, Patricia.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking to a lot of people just now, Ali, and they're all saying, I've done this healing modality, I've done crystal work, I've taught with crystals, and I've done my sound, and I've got all these together, and I don't know what I'm meant to be doing. Do you think they are being guided to come into that shamanistic energy like you? Do you
Possibly.
think
Yeah.
the tools have been there? People have been shown the tools together and then putting it all together under one umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's kind of this big guidance globally? Because I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, I do this, I do that. What am I meant to be doing?"
Yeah.
And I've got all these skills. Is it something you would say for them to look into?
Absolutely. I think things always happen for a reason, don't they? And people are one way or another shown the way. What it's dependent on is their acknowledgement of that and their awareness of that they're being guided, and just to get in that flow state and allow the universe to guide them. But of course, there has to be more than just doing a training course. You then have to put what you've learned into practice and to actually embody that and to live it. It's not enough just to go and do a training course. You actually have to integrate that. You have to embody the learnings, and then, as shamanic practitioners, our call is just to be of service to the community. And that is the next step, is the training, the learnings, the teachings, together with our own innate intuition. When we work with people, is to then get out there and be of service in our communities. And there's a big need for all, not just shamanic practitioners, but all healers, everyone who has these skills, to help people heal themselves. We need to be out there, and we need to be visible, and we need to gather together to share our knowledge, to share our healing tools. It's the point, you can't just sit on it.
No. It's there for a reason. It's been given to you for a
It's
reason.
it's divinely led, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it's all about conscious awareness, and we are the messengers. We're here. Most of us been teaching a lot for many years on a spiritual level. And so the next message is coming in. David, you were just alluding to the fact that, you've just had an amazing weekend week with downloads and everything. So, this is the time when they're feeding in the next level, the next vibration, the next frequency. And it is to encourage and to touch the hearts and souls of those who have not yet been touched, with, or perhaps those who have been, but bringing them to that next level. Because I keep saying this, the light has already won. And I found myself at a luncheon the other day with a lay preacher, very much a church here. And I understand that he kind of, how would I say, demonizes, in inverted commas, the kind of thing that we do, all of us. And yet it's very pleasant on the surface, and I've really had to learn how to remain in my power, stand in my power in the face of a male dominance, very much pontificating, and I just found myself speaking up, and I just said, well, the light has already won. There is no argument there, and the dark is declining. And actually, if we stay as observers, then we can observe that happening around the world, because there are things coming out. I mean, Ali, I'm living in Ireland now, but I can observe the UK government and everything that's happening there, and I think, my goodness, it's better than EastEnders list. You couldn't write this.
The soap opera.
Something new coming out every day. It's all been unpicked, isn't it? And all those that thought they'd got away with this and got away with that, well, no, I'm afraid you didn't. Then there's the Americans, and then there's the Russian thing. And I just observing it, I think, wow. We may think this is chaos. Actually, it's not chaos. It's the washing machine, isn't it? And it's really tossing it all about, and it's draining out all the crap. And we're talking about the wonder that is water, and then let's think about Thames water. And I just said to Bill this evening, I said, well, do you think there's any coincidence that there's all this, forgive me for being rude, but crap flowing about the Thames in London? Because that's what I'm thinking for. And the universe speaks to us all the time. So everything is in divine right order, and you're bang on when you say it's divinely led, because it is.
Mhm.
And all the time it's just going to be unfolding and unfolding.
Mhm.
And what we need to do, I mean, as soon as I am fit enough, I'll be getting back into my saddle. I'll get on my horse and get, you know, and you know, I'd love a horse. I've wanted a horse since I was about knee high to a what's it. I really would. I think I don't know if we can do a hip replacement on a horse. Sally Claridge is so lucky. She's over in Spain in the Alpujarras, and I see her and her horse looking like a real shamanic medicine woman with her gear on, you know, and everything, just fabulous. But you know, I could see that. So we're all going to get out there and get in about it. And Ali, you're going to, you know, you're going to be really cutting new ground. There'll be lots of new information coming in to share, and I hope you'll come back and share with us as well when you do. That would be interesting.
Sure.
Because it's just such a rich subject, isn't it? There's so much to encompass and embrace. I just love it. See, it's life. To me, it's all life, isn't it? And you know, we haven't alluded to anything about the voice, because that was my way, Sarah, of really with people for years, using the voice and sound. My voice has now gone down. I would say in Glasgow, it's gone down into the dunny. I'm now probably a good bass for the bass section, but I used to be up here. But yeah, I mean, using that to dislodge stuff's amazing. I remember I did one toning for a friend of mine, and afterwards she says, "Well, that was horrible, Patricia. It was horrible." And I said, "Okay." I said, "So what happened then?" She says, "Well, you were doing all that low stuff, and I just felt it all sort of churning up in my stomach. I really just feel, you know, that something's come loose or something."
Yeah.
I said, "And you think it didn't work, you know?" But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
so the voice is powerful, and your words, everything you're doing, you know, and when you're talking and giving talks, which you will be doing, and using the frequencies in your voice. You don't need to do it consciously, by the way. It'll just happen. They'll feed it through you. But it's exciting, don't you think, folks?
The human voice is actually the most powerful healing tool that we have. When we create that nad, that sound within our own, you know, that vibration, we find our own vibration that emanates out and can heal us. And the toning, I understand what you mean about the toning, and what your friend possibly experienced was that dissonance, these horrible, crunchy, dissonant sounds. That's what dislodges the stuff, and that's why she felt sick, because she was releasing, but she maybe didn't see it that way.
No, she didn't. I can tell you, but that's okay. I just thought it works. You know, we don't need to go into too much. It works.
Yeah.
But, you're dead right. Absolutely.
The toning is amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. I work with that when I work with the drum. I tone the chakras, and all sorts of interesting sounds come out.
But that was something like I was speaking to Ian down at the House Gaia in Peebles, and it was just incredible. He says, it doesn't matter if you get a clunky sound with something you're playing, because that clunky sound may be needed to heal something clunky within inside you, you know, and it shifts it. So, you know, it's really interesting. Yeah, the sound and vibration, but your voice is so important to be heard and to be used, and how we speak it, because literally we are spelling with words. We are our words are spelling. So, you know,
quite a lot of the issues I've helped people with has been around the throat chakra, because they've been maybe shut down as children. You know, this old saying, it's horrible, isn't it? Children should be seen and not heard. Isn't that awful? And so you know, as you know, those of us that grew up with that kind of mentality, you're like, it's, everything's stuck here. So opening up the throat is so important, and giving people the confidence and the power, you know, and that's connected to the navel chakra, bringing that power from the navel into the throat so that people feel that they can speak their truth, that they can express themselves, that they can assert themselves, you know, not being, you know, bullshit or being bullying, but to actually be assertive and to be able to express themselves. Is so, stuffing all that down, you know, it's not good for people. So
No.
it's great to be able to open all of this up.
Yeah.
We are coming towards the end of the program.
It's gone so quick.
There was nothing to worry about, you see, Annie.
No.
So before we finish, is there anything else that you would like to share? I'll make sure your website is shared here, and we'll make sure it's under video for anybody that's sort of watching.
Thank you.
And Janet says, getting our voices heard came out in your live readings this week, David. Absolutely.
Yes.
And seriously, literally before this, I was having a conversation with the guys who do soul empowerment with. We were talking about words. We were talking about all of this, and it was just like, okay, I'm now in the same conversation again as what I've just had. But no, but Ali, thank you so much. But anything that you would like to share before we finish?
Maybe just something around the kind of the fundamentals of shamanic healing when we're working one-to-one with people. We touched on soul retrieval, but the work also includes extraction when we have unwelcome energies that need to be removed. Past life work as well, very, very important. To actually recognize that how things have happened in our soul's journey in many incarnations can still affect us in the present day, but we can go back and actually heal that. And the energy healing that comes with shamanic healing as well. I mentioned my beautiful feather and using the stone, you know, these are all, and it's also relevant for working on the physical issues, mental issues, emotional issues. A shamanic healing can help with so many different things, and just you know, help people just come back into health and back into balance. And that's kind of the crux of it. So it's not something to be frightened of. It's not woo woo, you know. I'm quite an ordinary working class girl, you know. It's not anything you know, to be scared of at all. And I'm living proof of the benefits of this type of healing. So, and thank you so much for having me.
No, Ali, thank you for joining us, and thank you to David and to Patricia as well. So lovely for us all to be together again. Ali, so much appreciated.
Thank you.
Next week, I've got a Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls with my guest Angela, and I'm not sure how you say her name, right? But Marusis. So I hope I got that right. And we're going to be talking about the power of our tears. So that I hope you will join us for that. And then we've got another today's conversation that will follow on from that. We've got two of these conversations next month as well. So thank you to each and every one of you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again, folks. Please do join us again. Namaste.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye all.
Bye.